back to Kevin Durant, as you mentioned, his ability to shoot from practically any part of the floor is absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I think is really impressive is, and I learned this more when I saw him in person too, his figure. He's taller in person, dude. We already knew he's a tall guy.
Everybody says
dude,
he's
got to be 7 feet tall. Like it's actually insane, but they don't call him the Slim Reaper for nothing, dude. His legs are very thin. But no, his shooting at his size too, because a lot of times it almost feels like when you think of a basketball player, right? You almost assess their strengths and weaknesses based on their build. Like a lot of times when you see a very big guy go to the free throw line, you're like, oh, this guy's definitely going to doink these free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not going to hit these free throws. Kevin Durant at his size, his shooting form is so fluid. He can shoot a deep three. He can shoot, a step back three. He can do just about anything, as you mentioned. Just such a versatile shooter from any point in the floor. And that's the thing is like we're just pointing out his 3-point ability. It's just, as I mentioned, he's just a raw scorer. That's what he's been able to do. He puts the ball in the bucket. His mid-range is fantastic. He's great in the paint as well. It's exciting to see him get his flowers because, again, he's been in this game for so long. Besides his trip to Golden State, obviously, where those teams were practically unbeatable, except the Raptors got the job done, obviously, against a very banged-up Warriors team.
Yeah,
but
Clay
that Raptors team was still special. But I say all this to say that, like, Durant, besides playing for that practically unbeatable Warriors team, should have had more opportunities to play. And play for the finals, I guess I should say. So when you look back over the course of his career, I'm happy that he is earning these accolades as he goes on because he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And
I think he's the third best player of our generation growing up, behind LeBron and Steph Curry.
Ooh, you know what? NBA really woke up the crowd. We got another caller, Karl-Anthony from Manhattan. Dude, I really hope not to put you on the spot, Carl. I really hope this is a certain Karl-Anthony from Manhattan, although I do think it's a long shot that he would call into this show, but who knows? Let's see.
I don't know if I'm the one you're looking for, but I see you guys are talking about KD, and what I really want to focus on is just calling KD a top 3 of our generation. I think is very much a long shot. I'm sorry, I can't respect him for the way that he didn't stick it out in OKC. Personally, I can't give him his accolades when he didn't have to stress that much on the Warriors that much. He didn't have stress to worry about scoring that much. When you have Steph Curry behind you, Draymond on the defensive end, and you have one of the best Sean Livingston mid-ranges to not worry about. And I just can't give him his accolades that way. He went to Brooklyn, couldn't finish it there. Now he's on the Suns. He's in the twilight of his career. I just can't give him his accolade. I can't say that he's top 3 of our generation. Definitely not top 3. I can't give that. I would say probably definitely LeBron and Steph.
If I may, let me ask you a question because I kind of see what you're saying, but I don't agree at all. If besides LeBron James, maybe name one because you're talking about finals, proving it in the finals and winning the finals, right? Besides maybe LeBron James, we'll call it. Name one prolific finals team from the 2010s where one guy did it by himself.
2010s. I would say by himself. Can you even say KD did it by himself? You have Steph Curry on your side.
No, but I'm not saying KD did it by himself. I'm saying you can't put the entire weight of not like the teams that he's on. He jumped to a couple teams. I do agree with you that it's a bit of a blot on his career. But what I don't think is entirely fair is to like hold all these like he went to this city and didn't make the finals, went to this city, didn't make the finals, went to this city and didn't make the finals, as though like he's the reason or it's all on him that they didn't make the finals.
I would have to say to answer your question, Kawhi Leonard easily.
That's one I didn't think about.
And you can say Dirk as well.
You could say Dirk as well. No,
2019. Dirk is another great answer, but 2010s, I'm trying to think of. That's like early 2010, 2011. I would definitely say that. You got Kawhi both times, one with the Spurs and one with the Raptors. You could say both times.
Did it by himself, though?
Huh?
You think he carried the Spurs?
I don't know about carried the Spurs. He was locked. Did you not? You know that video of LeBron when he saw Kawhi check in with the Spurs. He literally said, "Oh my God!" when he saw Kawhi walk.
Oh, for sure.
Kawhi was a factor on that Spurs team.
No, he was outstanding. I guess the question I have for you is, and again, I'm not like going crazy on KD has to be in my top 3, but I'm just curious. I find it interesting how adamantly against it you are. Give me are there a handful of players you're putting in the top 3 ahead of him? Like, I know you said LeBron and Steph, like, but is it like a laundry list of guys to you that beat him into the top 3?
Laundry list, okay. LeBron, Steph. If you're going to count this generation, like around there, I think near the end, that Celtics team, you got Paul Pierce, you got Kevin Garnett. I still think that
ahead of Kevin Durant.
Ahead of Kevin Durant, you heard me. You got Paul Pierce, you got Ray Allen in his right hand with that shooting, way over KD. I'm still saying that, guaranteed. Even though he didn't have much playoff success as an individual player, I'm going with Karl-Anthony over KD. I'm sorry, I really do truly believe this.
Raw scoring ability, you're taking all of these guys over Kevin Durant.
Raw scoring ability and, might I say it, no joke, aura. KD is not a finisher. He does not have that killer mentality in my sense. He does not have that winner's mentality in the sense that LeBron has, that Steph has. I don't see KD on the court in a way that puts fear in my heart.
I don't know what to say to that. I think if you look at KD's career, even before he goes to the Golden State Warriors, he was up there with it was always him and LeBron James was the conversation. And I mean, Ray Allen even being mentioned in today's episode is crazy to me. Same thing with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, both great players, but not in the same conversation as Kevin Durant. I don't think there's a single player that you can put other than those top 3 of Curry, Durant, and LeBron in any. I think it's in that order of LeBron, Curry, and Durant for top 3, but I don't think there's a near close 4th.
He's never had a season where he's averaged less than 20 points a game. He's never had a season where he has averaged in the teens in points per game.
He's also averaging 27.3 points a game this year at the age of 35.
He's 36 years old. He's averaging. Listen, it's an interesting take. Like, I'm glad you're getting our brains working on this one. But Karl-Anthony, I'm really, I think you're being a little harsh on KD, man. Maybe we can argue, you know what, top 3 is high praise, but to not even put him in this generation top 5 is to me, that's something I struggle to work with. But I appreciate the passion behind your take, though. I guess I'm it's an interesting perspective for sure. But again, like, look at this. I mean, he averaged 20.3 a game as a rookie, never dropped below 20 in a season a game ever. And that's on 3 different teams.
Definitely efficient. I give him that. He's efficient. But we're talking about this legendary status that we're trying to give him with LeBron and Steph. And I just cannot give him that respect in the sense compared to those players and all across the generation. I can even say this, like, with my heart and soul, that I think even on the OKC teams, Westbrook, in a sense, looking back, is still better because even though he stayed those MVP seasons, the way that he just put fear in people's hearts, the way that KD, I don't care if they call him the silent reaper, or like the silent killer, it doesn't matter. He does not put fear in my heart in the way that other players do.
I think what you're getting at is a best versus greatest thing, which I guess I understand. Because it sounds like a lot of what you're saying with Kevin Durant, I've yet to hear an indictment on his statistical efficiency in the sport of basketball. A lot of what you're saying sounds like his presence in locker rooms, on the floor, and like as a culture icon in the sport. If am I interpreting what you're saying correctly? Because it sounds like to me,
I would probably say you are interpreting correctly because I'm very much, when it comes to sports in general, the culture is something that you just have to accept. And he's just not a culture guy, in my opinion. You can respect him for being quiet. You can respect him for just being efficient and doing his job. But I can't respect him when it comes to this idea of a top 3. That's something that I think it has to encapsulate everything. It has to encapsulate the efficiency while also being part of the culture. And KD is just one of those players that he just does not, again, strike fear into, like, players' hearts like that. I don't think players, when they're guarding him, they're like, oh, respectfully, he's gonna score on us. But I don't think they see him as like that game changer. He had a chance to be with the Nets. He had his chance. Foot was on the line. He made that shot, and then in overtime blew it. He just, outside of having a great co-star, he had nothing. He needed that great co-star in order for him to be great. On the Warriors teams, Curry was able to be great. Even though he had Klay Thompson, even though he had Draymond, he was still able to stand out. Doesn't matter if he didn't win the Finals MVP because Iguodala was guarding LeBron the whole time. Doesn't matter. he was able to get that Finals MVP in their latest championship. You have LeBron. That's just LeBron. That's all I got to say for that. Everyone here can understand that.
Right.
And KD, I just can't respect those Finals MVPs because he did it while having an amazing – everyone – the moment he signed with that Warriors team, everyone hated him. And then the moment – no disrespect, the moment he ended his career there, sadly, with the Achilles tear, that's when he vindicated himself, really. People started respecting him more after he left that team after that sad moment. So I think we cannot gloss over how much the 2016-2019 era he had with the Warriors is. And I feel like if you erase that from his career, you'll just continue talking about him being efficient, being one of those greatest to never have a ring.
Well, that was certainly a take. I appreciate your call, Karl-Anthony from Manhattan. Big purr. Appreciate it. That was a hell of a take. But